Good morning, Santa Clarita. Well, good morning. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi, and I lead School's Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, your host, and our show Eye on the Valley, as I said, is brought to you by SCVi and I Lead Schools. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've also got a fully accredited online school. We've got a burgeoning home study program. It's called I Lead Exploration. And I tell you what, you're going to be with us for a little while. Go ahead and dial into ileadschools.org and check out all of our schools. We've got 6 schools. We've got 9 different programs. Kids learn differently, so they need different programs, different learning platforms, if you will. So yeah, check us out at ileadschools.org for more information on any of our schools, classroom-based, hybrid, online, home study. One more time, that's ileadschools.org. So yeah, we've got our eye on education in Santa Clarita and across the nation. But like our show says, we keep our eye on the valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the valley, and we do so while trying to put a little smile on your face. So yeah, we try to laugh and giggle a little bit, because you know what? It's my philosophy. I've actually got a rider in my contract. If I can't laugh while I'm doing it, I'm not doing it. It gets me in trouble at board meetings sometimes, and funerals can get really awkward. But yeah, so we try to giggle, we try to put a smile on your face. We're going to be here with you for a couple of hours. We're going to have a good time. So how are you doing? It is a Friday morning. I love doing this show on Fridays. We used to, way back in the day, we used to do the show on Thursdays, but I love doing it on Fridays because, you wake up on a Friday, you do that little happy dance, that little Friday dance, and then, we're sliding into the weekend, and we're going to do it together right here on the air. And so, yeah, just love this. And, we're going to get to slide into that weekend together. So let's go ahead and do it. It's going to be a great weekend here in the Valley. And there's just a ton of stuff going on. There's a lot happening in and around Santa Clarita. Lots of events, there's live performances. I'm a social media guy. Are you on social media? I'm always out there lurking and scrolling around, and there's just so much going on here in the Valley this weekend. You're going to hear about quite a few things as we go throughout the show, but the weather is perfect again. Yep, a little bit of fog this morning. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful day. A little bit warmer. We're getting into the summer now, and but it's just gorgeous here in the Valley, and we've got so much to choose from. What have you got planned this weekend? I mean, there's 100 things going on, so what are you doing? You know what? I tell you what, if you're not sure what you're doing, like I said, we got a 2-hour show here. Why don't you just head on over to hometownstation.com. That's the KHTS website, hometownstation.com, where you can check out everything that's happening in town this weekend. All things fun, interesting, exciting, and upcoming here in Santa Clarita. This week, gosh, I'm looking at it now, and we've got so much to choose from. We've got auctions and art exhibits, races and revivals, family activities and festivals, symposiums and shows and sing-alongs and stadium days. That's a lot of alliteration for anxious anchors promoting prominent posts. Just get out there and have fun. This is the weekend to do it. So do it. Relax. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, enjoy the show, and while you're listening, get on the web, go to hometownstation.com, make your plans for the weekend while you're enjoying the amazing guests that we've got today. We've got some incredible guests in just a moment. We'll meet Allyson Vilppu. Allyson is a middle school facilitator with I Lead Agua Dulce, and she'll be joining us in just a minute. She's going to be joined by Diem. Tina is actually a parent at I Lead Agua Dulce. I thought today would be a good day for you to hear from not just one of our teachers. We bring in our educators pretty often, but I wanted you to get the opportunity to hear what the parent perspective is. So, we're bringing in Allyson, a middle school. We call them facilitators. She's a middle school facilitator. It's funny, I had somebody once wag their finger at me. She says, Matt, I know you charter school folks. You call them facilitators because they're not credentialed teachers. And nope, nope. That is absolutely not the case. We are required to follow the same credentialing rules and regulations that every public school in California is. And as a matter of fact, sometimes with the charter schools, they're even a little bit more stringent. But I won't get into all that stuff. We call our educators facilitators not because of the credentialing that they've got or don't have, but because of the way they teach. They set the stage for our kids. Again, I think I'm going into too much detail here. We've got Allyson calling in just a moment, and Tina Diem, who is a parent. She and her two kids have actually attended a couple of our iLead schools, and so I wanted to give you a little bit of perspective. It's one thing to hear Allyson and I talking about. It's one thing to talk about what people are doing as far as in the classroom, but it's another thing to give you a parent perspective. So hopefully we'll have Tina on and we'll talk to her about her experience and her kids' experience at SCVi as well as iLead Agua Dulce. So yeah, the two of them will be joining me in just a moment. And then in hour number 2, we'll talk to Karen Berkeley, who is the executive director of marketing and outreach. And she's the executive director of marketing and outreach with RoWi. That's ROWI, RoWi Teen Parent and Wellness. We met them last month, and they are doing just fantastic work with teens who are struggling a little bit, and they also work with families as well. Because if you've had teenagers that are struggling with mental wellness and other, anxiety and other social emotional things, you know how tough it can be, and you know that it's something that everybody needs to be all in on. And so, yeah, we'll talk to Carolyn Berkeley with RoWi Teen and Parent Wellness in just a moment. Actually, that's in hour number 2 is Karen. Also in hour number 2, we've actually got a couple of different guests. I'm excited about both of them. Chris Vallona also will be calling in. Actually, he might be here live in studio. Chris is the director of Project Sebastian. Sebastian himself, if you're a longtime listener of the show, Sebastian was in here with his mom, Terry, a while back in, I believe it was 2020, maybe 2021. His is a harrowing story. He's been struggling with a very rare disease his entire life, and we'll get an update from his dad, Chris Vallona, today, and as well as a lot of the stuff that he's doing, not only to help his son Sebastian, but to help others in similar situations. So I just absolutely love that when folks find that support for themselves in supporting others. I often sign off with the show that we need to take care of each other, and that's how we take care of ourselves, is by taking care of each other. Chris Vallona, again, director of Project Sebastian, is doing just that. He's supporting his family by supporting other families. So we'll talk to him in hour number 2. And then, of course, Big T will be here. He's always here at the end of the show. Mom won't let me do a show without him. Putting my big brother on as well. I get in trouble if I don't. So, like I always say, I can't have anything nice of my own. So he'll be calling in with trivia. We'll be goofing around with him. So settle in, won't you? Pour yourself that second cup of coffee. We are about to get started. First up today, as I mentioned, is Allyson Vilppu. Allyson worked in behavioral therapy before becoming an educator in 2017. She earned her bachelor's in history from CSUN, and I hear that the most amazing people study history at CSUN. She also earned her master's in library information sciences from San Jose State, and she got her multiple subject teaching credential from Cal Teach. This is her first year with iLead Agua Dulce, and we're excited to have her. And joining her is Tina Diem. Tina is a parent and an active volunteer at iLead Agua Dulce. Tina founded, this is really cool. She founded a Girl Scout troop here in Santa Clarita, as well as she founded the Color Guard at SCVi, and that's iLead's founding school, before she moved her girls up to iLead Agua Dulce, just up the 14 here. Tina is a psychologist who studied at CSPP San Diego, as well as UCLA. Go Bruins! She's an active volunteer in the community and a charter school advocate. Allyson, Tina, welcome to Eye on the Valley. Well, hey, Jen. Hey, ladies, are we there? Allyson, Tina, welcome.
Yes, hi. This is Tina. I'm here.
Hi, Tina. How are you? Allyson, have we got you too? All right. Well, Tina, it's good to have you. Maybe we'll go ahead and start with you. We're having some technical difficulties this morning. We're going to have Allyson call back if she could. So yeah, Tina, let's go ahead and jump in with you. So your family has been part of the iLead network for quite a long time. Tell us, Tina, what led you initially to enroll your kids? I think first at SCVi and then iLead Agua Dulce, right?
Yes, that is correct. This is Sam's finishing her 11th grade year, and she's been there since kindergarten. So we have not known any other program, any other way of doing school. So I went on a tour at SCVi because I was just curious what sorts of educational opportunities there were for the kids out here. And honestly, the main issue we started with was that we didn't want Samantha in full-day kindergarten because we felt like she would be bored.
Interesting.
And I heard that SCVi had half-day school, so that's where we started, and we fell in love with the program, and we've been there ever since, or with iLead ever since.
Yeah, and like I said, you moved your kids up to iLead Agua Dulce a few years ago. You mentioned the half-day kindergarten. It's interesting. Oftentimes, parents who are coming up on kindergarten will be very passionate about, I want a full-day kindergarten, and others are very passionate about, I want a half-day kindergarten. I love that next year, I believe SCVi is going to be offering both. So it's not that you have to, choose your school. You can choose your program right there at SCVi. But Tina, as a parent and a volunteer, you've been really heavily involved at both campuses that your kids have attended, helping to build programs. I mentioned that you helped start the Color Guard at SCVi and support the schools. Tina, what's your why? Why do you feel so driven to be so actively involved in your schools? Because you really do give a lot of time.
Oh my God, that's a great question.
Well, thanks.
Why? I guess, because I can. Because it's great for the kids, and not just my kids. It helps all the kids. It helps a lot of the teachers and the staff. I think that with even thinking about the motto of iLead, right, the free to think, inspired to lead.
Yes.
I think that the system at the schools has made that available not just for my kids, but for me as a parent volunteer. I've always been so welcome to come and help, and it's just been so much fun. It's a village. So many friends of teachers, and working directly with Lisa Latimer, our director, who we came over to Agua Dulce with from SCVi. And I guess just a passion, and the school is so open to that it's just going to happen.
Well, and I love what you said, that you're not there just checking on your kids, helping out your kids. I see you on campus all the time, and you're working with a bunch of different kids. You're volunteering.
All over the place.
All over the place. And I love that. You're just a staple in the community there, and you're just part of the team, and it's fantastic. Allyson, I want to get to you as well. Are you there? Are you there with us?
Yes, I am here. Hi.
Cool. Thanks for hanging with us. We appreciate it, Allyson. So I mentioned that you had worked previously as a behavioral therapist. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you ended up leaving that field and coming to work at iLead.
Of course. So right after, well, actually, while I was obtaining my master's and after my master's, I worked as a behavioral therapist with in-home therapies for children with learning disabilities,
Hmm.
and that was so much fun. And then I had kids, and that job is very much an after-school hours job, and
Okay.
it just did not work having children and working all these hours after 3 p.m. So I went ahead and made the switch and came into a school as a paraprofessional,
All right.
and I was sub-credentialed at that time. And then that led to a long-term sub position. And during that year, I jumped full on into getting my credential. And I've been working in middle school math ever since.
Well, fantastic.
And I worked at that school for 6 years, and now my seventh year now teaching. I am now here at iLead, and I made the jump over because my niece and my nephews have attended here since 2020. And every school event I came to, every time I was on campus, I just felt completely drawn to the community here and the environment. And when I heard that there was a math opening in middle school, I jumped right on it. And I've loved every moment since.
Well, it takes somebody really special to be able to be effective in middle school. That's just kind of a difficult and awkward time for kids. And then to be able to teach math in middle school, God bless you. But like I mentioned, I think this is my personal opinion, but I think the most amazing people in the world are folks that studied history at CSUN. So, you and I may have that in common. So, Allyson, tell us. So you've worked in a traditional district school and now working for this last year at iLead Agua Dulce. What makes our schools so unique or different from the traditional district schools?
Well, actually, my previous school was it was a charter
Oh, it
school,
was a
but it
charter
was
school as
much
well.
more of a traditional-based education system.
Okay.
Um, so what I appreciate and love about iLead over the other charter school that I was at is the curriculum is not there as how do I put this? It's not the only thing I'm allowed to do. We are allowed to help the learners embrace the curriculum in the way that best suits them.
Mm-hmm.
And we are encouraged to use the curriculum to support the learners. My previous school, it was very much about test scores, and we were told to teach to a test, and it was very discouraging to everyone on campus. And that is not at all what we are doing here at iLead Agua Dulce. We are definitely embracing the standards. We are teaching the standards, but we are doing it in such an engaging and deep way that the learners are fully engaged in their own education, and it's really beautiful to see.
Yeah, gosh, you and I do have quite a bit in common. Allyson, that was something that really attracted me to SCVi and to our iLead network is that as an educational professional, we're allowed to do what we know our kids need, and that's amazingly freeing, and it's so enriching for not only us as professionals, but for our kids and our families as well. Allyson Vilppu, middle school facilitator, and Tina Diem, parent and volunteer, both with iLead Agua Dulce, a free public charter school. That's something we do have in common with the district schools. We are free, we are public, but we are charter schools, and you can find enrollment information. You can fill out an enrollment application at iLead Agua Dulce, request more information, or even sign up for a tour at ileadaguadulce.org. We're going to talk more with Allyson and with Tina when we get back. We do need to take a quick break. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station. 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I'm joined this morning by Allyson Vilppu. She's a middle school facilitator, that's what we call our teachers, at iLead Agua Dulce, and Tina Diem is a parent at the school. She's a volunteer at the school. She's always at the school because, as she said, because she can be. It's interesting. I've worked at several schools before where we put out the banner on the on the window or the fence that says volunteers welcome, and then once the volunteers come in, they realize, yeah, not really. But that's not the case with our schools. We try to get our parents in as often as possible as they are partners in our education. At any rate, Allyson, let's get back to you. We mentioned before that you're a math facilitator for 7th and 8th grade, but you're also the math workshop facilitator for high school. So you're doing a lot of math. Can you tell our
Yeah.
listeners a little bit about the difference between working with the lower school, which is TK through 8 at Agua Dulce, and then the independent study model that we have in the high school?
Of course. So our TK through 8th is direct facilitation, where we are working with the learners during their class time every week. We do a lot of instruction, demonstration. We do a lot of real-world application, applying our math to our cross-curricular projects, and just a lot of in-class support working with our learners. And when they move into 9th grade and they are in our independent high school, we have kind of a workshop situation. So the learners are given their work most often. So 9th grade actually has a built-in workshop time with me in person. So I work with them about 50 minutes twice a week. And we go over kind of a little direct instruction, but a lot of it is working on any kind of assignments that have been given that they have questions on, clarifying things for them, making sure they are applying their previous knowledge, and working with them in that small group setting. 10th and 11th grade are provided their instruction online.
Okay.
So they are given their assignments and often videos. But the good thing is I'm on campus and I have built-in workshop time where they are able to come to me with any questions or any support they need. Sometimes there are learners, they just need to sit with a facilitator and be comfortable working in that room with that facilitator. So I kind of have an open door policy.
Oh, cool.
Anytime they have the free time to be working on their math, they can come into my classroom and work with me. I even take my prep time down in the high school room often so that I'm sitting and working on what I need to work on, but if anyone has questions or anything, they don't have to come find me. I'm right there in their room. So a lot of support is happening, a lot of help, and it's speaking for itself. We have a lot of great things happening with math, and I think we're all going to be really happy and surprised when we see all those test scores come through because these kids are doing amazing things and applying their knowledge in great ways.
And I love that you're there so often to support them and help them out. So, Allyson, our schools are really known for the deep and rich project-based learning that we develop with our learners at each grade level. So can you talk for just a little bit about PBL, project-based learning? Why is project-based learning important for the learning and growth of our students?
Project-based learning, in my opinion, is authentic learning. It is. I was very nervous coming from a more traditional school system to step into a project-based, especially being math-focused, because math is a little difficult to build projects around. But once I went through my first project all the way through the presentation of learning, I remember stopping and talking to Miss Latimer and saying, I don't know what I was nervous about. This is just how I teach anyways. Everything's going to be fine. So it's really amazing to be able to connect all sorts of things across all different curriculum and domains so that the children see how what they are learning is not just specific in one subject, but it is crossing those curriculars, and they are actually engaging with the work in such a deeper and more meaningful way.
So you've been developing a project, and I have to tell you, Allyson, I got to applaud you on this. A lot of our math teachers have really struggled to get to build project-based learning into their classrooms. which I didn't really understand because for me, math is one of the most applicable subjects out there. But you recently guided, I think, your seventh graders through a cross-curricular project on natural disasters and plastic pollution. What were some of the
Yep.
discoveries and connections that your learners made? Tell us a little bit about the project.
So this was I call it a grassroots project. I originally started the unit without the intention of turning it into a project. It was just going to be a straightforward unit and move us along. But when I introduced the unit to the learners, we had some panic over what a natural disaster could do to their communities.
Uh-oh.
And I realized that this was a perfect opportunity to really hone in that engagement and really help the learners through not only understanding their science and humanities and math, but also tying in the social emotional so that they feel more confident and prepared in the case of a natural disaster.
Wow.
So that was...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say that was our driving question.
All right.
How can I learn more about natural disasters and plastic pollution to help my community in the event of a natural disaster?
And so how do you pull the math into that? Where does the math come in?
So the math was fun. We did a lot of graphing using a coordinate grid and maps, and that helped us discover how the tectonic plates are the cause of earthquakes and volcanoes, and then we led to the discovery of the ring of fire and the very active tectonic plates around the Pacific Ocean.
Uh-huh.
And that honestly just deepened their understanding of why natural disasters happen, what is the reason, like what is the why behind everything that led to kind of just a deep breath of, I don't have control over this, so what can I control? And we jumped back to our circle of control.
I love that.
And we applied that we can't control the tectonic plates,
Uh-huh.
but we can control our reactions to natural disasters.
Okay, interesting. And then another good portion of math to bring in is to look at statistics and how often they happen and how actually rare they are, or rare that it is that that we suffer major damage or death or loss of life in those things. So maybe that math will help put them at ease a little bit. Don't want them going home freaked out.
We did jump into the statistics, especially, being here very close to a fault line. So we looked at the likelihood of a earthquake on our San Andreas faults. We looked at those statistics, and then we also looked at the Richter scale.
Uh-huh.
And we used the Richter scale to understand how often we have small earthquakes and that they are happening pretty consistently and we are not feeling them. And that did help my students feel a sense of calm.
Good.
That they don't have to be so worried about a big one, in their words.
All right. Fantastic.
Because they are surviving earthquakes almost on the monthly basis. So
Yeah. So I, like you, I know what it's like to teach in a traditional class where you've got to teach these facts, you've got to teach to the test, like you said at your previous school, and I know what it's like and how enjoyable it is and how kind of freeing it is as a teacher to be able to teach what you called authentic learning in the classroom. But I want to talk to Tina about what it's like from the parent's perspective. Tina, what do you see your kids getting from project-based learning? Because as you mentioned before, your kids have gone since kindergarten all the way through our schools. What are you seeing your kids obtaining through a project-based learning curriculum?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything about the learning. Obviously, there's different kinds of learning styles and there's different kinds of kids out there, but mine are definitely not the kind who want to just be taught at. They have these brains where they just want to reach out and experience things and do things. And the project-based learning just gives them, there's so much emphasis, I call it voice and choice, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's like what Allison's talking about. It's part of what we really love about the project-based learning is that organic nature that comes along with being on this sort of campus that has that, she was talking about that freeing experience for the facilitators.
Sure.
I've seen that happen so many times over the years where there's either an idea for a project that gets started or it's just a loose topic. And our facilitators are amazing to have the flexibility that they have and the passion that they have to work with the kids, so that if they see exactly what Allyson was just talking about, they see something happening with the kids, they see something stirring there, and they run with it. Yeah. And it just makes the kids have this, or it enables the kids to have this experience where they're really involved with their own learning. And not only are they learning, but they're mostly enjoying doing it. Right. And then that's just going to help them learn more and remember more and be excited about moving on to the next thing as well. So project-based learning is, it's been everything for my kids for sure.
You know, you're absolutely right. You mentioned voice and choice, where we do have a curriculum that we put before our kids, but project-based learning, we put before them what they're going to learn, but they get to decide how they learn it and in what way they present it. They really get to pull in a lot of themselves, and that leads to what you mentioned, the kids getting so engaged and so excited about their learning. So, Tina, gosh, your kids are getting older now, and I can't believe Sam's going to be a senior next year, and they've come all the way through from kindergarten up to high school. So you've seen a lot of projects in your day. What have been some of your favorite projects, or maybe projects that you've seen have most deeply impacted your kids over the years?
Oh my gosh, how much time do you have?
We got a couple more minutes.
Oh my goodness. So many amazing projects. I guess the really big ones that are getting a lot of attention, I suppose, got to go with Dream Up and gliders and mycology. There's so many. Dream Up, we're working directly with NASA involvement, right, across our iLead campuses. And my kids have both been able to participate in coming up with microgravity experiments to propose. And Sam's first year at iLead Agua Dulce, her team was one of the teams that was selected, and their experiment actually went up to the International Space Station. We were lucky enough right before the COVID shutdown. We came home from Florida the week before the shutdown happened.
Oh, wow.
They got to go and watch their launch and do all of that science. And then the glider project that's been going for I don't even know how long. So Sam got to see a glider at school at SCVi. I think she was in first or second grade or something. And they knew that the 8th grade kids were learning the science and the math to be able to actually go up in the gliders. And she's worked every year since then, and we were able to bring that program over here to iLead Agua Dulce, and all our classes have been able to go up in the gliders, and that's a huge project where they do everything. They do their history, their writing, their math, their science, all around flight and the physics of flight and the history of flight, and then they actually get to go up in the gliders. So both of my kids have been able to do that, and it's so many things.
Yeah, gosh, I never really take the time to step back and look at it, but your kids have had the opportunity to design experiments that then get conducted in space, and they also have the opportunity to get started on learning the principles of flight, and they actually get to fly in a glider plane. And all of this is part of their middle school and high school curriculum. That's absolutely amazing. Allyson, I know this is your first year with us. Have you got any projects in the works, or have you, I know you talked about your natural disaster project. Is there another project that you've really enjoyed?
Well, since I am lucky enough to be involved in 6th through 11th grade this year, I have been involved in so many awesome projects. Miss Elsa and I worked on a Greek mythology project and working on how Greek culture still impacts our current society.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first project. So I think that one's going to always hold a special spot for me because it was just so much fun. And then the mycology project, I personally have a deep hatred of mushrooms.
Okay.
It's visceral, to be honest, but it's been really fun to learn and engage with the learners through the mycology project and growing our mushrooms and researching and learning about mushrooms and applying and learning how mushrooms can benefit our society in so many different ways. And while I will never love a mushroom, I have learned to appreciate them.
Like you said, mushrooms are so beneficial to society. I think you need to really embrace them, Allyson. And you know what? When it comes to ordering pizzas, we'll just leave the mushrooms on my side.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be an appreciation from afar.
I see. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Allyson Vilppu is a middle school facilitator at Agua Dulce, which is a free public charter school here in town. I know I say Agua Dulce and you think that's out of town. It's a couple minutes up the freeway, folks. And she's joined this morning by Diem, who has been a parent and volunteer with our schools for, well over a decade now. It's incredible. You're going to find out a lot more about the school when we get back. If you're interested, you know what? Why don't you jump on their website right now, ileadaguadulce.org, and tour around the website. You can see a lot more of what they're talking about. You can also fill out an enrollment application, request more information, maybe even sign up for a tour. But like I said, we're going to talk more with Tina and Allyson when we get back. I'm Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. I'm joined this morning by Allyson Vilppu, middle school facilitator or teacher with iLead Agua Dulce, and talking as well to Diem, parent and volunteer with the school. Again, a free public charter school just up the road here in Agua Dulce. Tina, I want to turn back to you because I know that throughout their career with iLead Agua Dulce and even before at SCVi, your kids have had some pretty unique opportunities. I'm talking about your kids, Sam and Jordan. During their time with iLead Agua Dulce, do you have some favorite opportunities? You talked before about the opportunity that your kids have had to send their homework to space, the opportunity that they had to start learning to fly. But what are some other opportunities that you've really enjoyed seeing your kids get at iLead Agua Dulce?
Well, one I wanted to mention for sure is you had actually mentioned the color guard, starting the flag ceremony color guard at SCVi. And you had associated that with me, and that's actually the kids. The kids did that as a Girl Scout project. So it was Sam's Silver Award and Jordan's Bronze Award, and they started working on putting that program together. It had been run by Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and as those kids at SCVi graduated, it sort of almost went back to staff, but my girls took it over and really designed the program to carry forward. And it was right when we were deciding to come over to iLead Agua Dulce, and so we talked to Mrs. Latimer, and she told them, absolutely, you guys can bring that program over here. And so that first year that they were over here, they actually ran it as, we like to call it a system-wide program, because they were running the flag ceremonies at both campuses. So that was really exciting for them.
Oh, that is cool.
Some of the other things I think have just been the way that the school has involved the kids in so many different aspects. So Sam's been on any number of certification panels. So talking to the WASC accreditation people, the IB accreditation people, giving VIP tours. They've given tours to local government officials, to other city representatives, I believe. They've been involved in interview panels and with orientation panels for incoming staff. Just really, they've had their little hands in lots of things around campus. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's funny, and I stay in touch with a lot of our graduates, and they talk about the different experiences, going on their first job interview, or pitching a new product idea, things like that. And they say it's easy. I've been doing this stuff since I was in first grade, second grade at SCVi or at
Exactly.
So that is awesome. And now, speaking of opportunities that your kids have, and especially with you being with us for so long, and being with Agua Dulce since they were founded, you as a parent and Jordan, you're going to have the opportunity to kind of build our first senior class. Your daughter Jordan is going to be a senior.
Sam.
I'm sorry, Sam. You're right, Sam. Sorry. Sam is going to be a senior next year, and she's going to be part of the first graduating class at Agua Dulce. And so that senior class and you as parents, as guides, are going to get to create what that senior experience looks like. So do you have anything? Have you talked to the kids? Have you got any big plans for that senior experience at Agua Dulce?
Oh, my goodness. I haven't talked a whole lot about it with the kids yet. They've been really wrapped up in this year, and I think they're a little overwhelmed with thinking about it. I am too, actually. It's kind of crazy. I can't believe it already. But one of the things I'm really looking forward to is senior clap out, because I remember it from SCVi and it being such an amazing experience of just having a day towards the end of the year where the kids are there in their caps and gowns, and we would get all of the kids out on the yard, and they make kind of that tunnel for the graduates to walk through and just clap and cheer for them. And I remember watching friends go through it, and it's something I think that's a great thing for the younger kids to look forward to and to see, like, oh, these are kids who have gone to school here all this time, and now they're graduating, and having that to look forward to for themselves. And then just the chance to have such an intimate graduation ceremony. We have such small classes, and watching friends at the big high schools go through, oh my gosh, how many tickets can you get? And I can't get,
Right.
We need enough tickets for auntie and uncle to come, and we're not going to be able to do it. And just dealing with all the stress of that, and you get your one moment of your kid walking across the stage, and that's it. And just we're going to be able to do so much more than that, and just really focus and spotlight our kids and celebrate them. It's going to be amazing.
It is so exciting. And Allyson, I focused on you as one of the teachers at Agua Dulce, but you're also, you're an aunt and you're a mom of learners at Agua Dulce. We've only got about a minute left, but as a parent and an aunt, what makes Agua Dulce a good fit for your learners?
Similar to Tina, like my kids and my niece and my nephews, they definitely learn best through the depth of engagement that is available here at iLead. And I've seen my own first grader just completely blossom and take on her own education and really just steerhead everything in that way. One thing I loved is she took on basketball this semester, and it was not her thing. It was not her secret talent, but she had the confidence to take it on, and I was not expecting that. If you had asked me a year ago, I would have been like, no way is she ever going to do that. But she did it, and I'm really proud of her.
I love that kids get to grow and flourish, or not, in areas that they get to explore themselves. Allyson Vilppu, middle school facilitator, Tina Diem, parent volunteer and activist. We appreciate you joining us this morning. I am Matt Watson, and we've got a break. You are listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. Last hour, gosh, we spent the whole hour talking to Allyson Vilppu, who is a teacher at Agua Dulce, and Tina Diem, who is a parent and parent volunteer. Gosh, it's funny as I walk around the campus at iLead Agua Dulce. I think I see Tina more often than I see Allyson. She's just so active there. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know one more time, if you are interested in enrolling your child at iLead Agua Dulce, you can do so on the website ileadaguadulce.org. You can you know what? Take a look at the website. They've got a great website. They've got some videos of stuff our kids are doing. It'll tell you all about our schools. You can book a tour. You can request more information. The office staff there is absolutely wonderful. And then, yeah, if you are interested, you can feel free to just go ahead and fill out the application. Smash that Enroll Now button, fill out the application, and it doesn't take long, and you can get on our wait list. We actually do have a wait list for next year, so but I think our director is working to open up some more spots so that we're able to allow our folks in off of the wait list for next year. So yeah, we are working to get our next guests on the phone. I believe they're there. Our next guests this morning are Karen Berkeley, Executive Director of Marketing and Outreach with RoWi Teen and Parent Wellness. Karen has 2 decades of diverse experience in communications and public affairs. She's an expert relationship builder and communicator. Her career has taken her from the halls of Congress to the vast landscape of nonprofit cubicles. Woohoo! But the most common thread woven throughout her professional experience is her passion for people and organizations striving to serve the public good. And I believe she brought with her her colleague, Allyson Whiteley, Director of Partnerships. Allyson is skilled at building successful award-winning education programs and developing relationships and partnerships which leverage the impact and improve the lives of youth in our community. Allyson, Karen, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. I'm back. It's Alyssa's first time being on with you all, but it's just great to talk to you. We appreciate you guys.
Of course.
Spotlighting what's going on in the community.
Of course. I really enjoyed our conversation that we had about a month ago. Allyson, are you there?
I am here. Hi.
We've got you. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. So,
thank you for having me.
As we mentioned, Karen, we met you a few weeks ago here on the show and learned a lot about RoWi. Your programs are dedicated to assist teens ages 12 to 18 and their families promote positive emotional and behavioral health. You provide support when families need something a little bit more intensive than maybe the once-a-week therapy, because life can be difficult sometimes. We're so grateful that our community has a resource like RoWi in town, and we're glad to have you back on the show. So summer is here. June, I can't believe it, starts tomorrow. So
I know.
Can you tell us what kind of summer programming do you offer at RoWi?
So we offer our typical programming, but with a summer twist. And so our typical program, we run 2 programs. One is a full-day program. It's technically called a partial hospitalization, but don't let that scary term, turn you off. So it's a full-day program. And then we have another program that is called our intensive outpatient, which is really more of a smaller scale, a couple hours, typically after school during the school year. But in the summer, it is more flexible. And so, again, we have a full-day program, and we have what's an after-school program during the year, but would be just for 3 hours during the summer. And you have a choice of time slots when you can participate. And our programs are really focused on helping kiddos who are struggling with what we call primary mental health challenges. That includes anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicidal ideation, mood disorders, bullying and anxiety, are often tied together. Also, there's oftentimes, ADHD at play and other neurodiversity like autism spectrum disorder. So we support that in a really comprehensive, holistic therapeutic program that includes group therapy, which is so perfect for teens because they do not want to sit kneecap to kneecap with an adult talking about their problems. They really thrive much more in a group setting where they feel like they're not alone and they have peers that are also facing similar struggles and they can share that experience with them. So there's group therapy. There is individual therapy as well. There's family therapy, and there's lots of experiential therapy like art and music and outings during the summer to get outside and get that fresh air and sunshine that's so helpful for
Yeah.
mental health. And so it's comprehensive. We also include something called psychoeducation, and that's just really learning the tools and tricks of mental wellness that are going to help support these teens throughout their lives for whatever challenges they face. As you and I know, Matt, life is not linear. There are ups
Right.
and downs. And so we really want to equip teens with the tools to face challenges that may impact their mental well-being. So psychoeducation looks at, what are the skills socially that they can improve and work upon. Skills like how to enter and exit a conversation, how to use humor and sarcasm appropriately, how to make and keep friends. These are things that our teens are all often struggling with. And so we want to support that kind of skill building for them through our programs.
That's fantastic. And I mentioned before that question how grateful we are to have a center like RoWi here in town. Because, my dad told me growing up that life can be hard. I didn't realize he meant my life. But it can be challenging. And we're so fortunate to have a resource like RoWi here in town. Now, so grateful that you've got summer programs going with kids on vacation, but parents still working. It can be a stressful time for families who may have kids dealing with mental wellness issues or having, going through crises. So, but you really parlay that opportunity, don't you? How can summer be a good time to really dig into mental wellness for teens?
Yeah, there's challenges that are innate to the summer. There's a lack of structure and routine for these kids. During
Right.
the school year, they have a structured routine, regular classes and activities and social interaction. And so summer breaks that structure, which can lead to feelings of, aimlessness and anxiety. And so our programs are able to provide that structure and give them, a focus for the summer. That's going to have, positive outcomes. That social isolation is real for kids. They, sometimes they also feel like they have this pressure to have fun during the summer. It's like, make the most of the summer. And they see all the sunshine and beaches and they feel this pressure to be part of that. But, if you don't have a strong social network or you're struggling, that pressure to have fun can sometimes make that worse. So, our programs provide access to nature, and outdoor activities and being with peers. And I think, that's obviously beneficial. We know that that's beneficial for mental health, and it provides that routine and structure in a program. Our programs are flexible in the sense that, you can kind of pick the time frame with regards to our fuller day program or our partial program. And so, but there's still structure. And then, also it's just a good time, like without the stress of those other activities in school, to focus in on building coping skills, resilience and a less pressured environment and a supportive, safe space can really prepare them to handle stress better when the school year resumes. So it's sort of like, let's get ahead over the summer, just like some kids who might struggle with math are going to maybe seek out some tutoring over the summer, not the most fun thing. If you're struggling with mental wellness and you want to do better in the fall when you are in school and things can be stressful, this is the time to dig in and build those coping skills. Our families also oftentimes have a little bit more flexible schedules during the summer. And so families are able to offer more support, for their kids. And then professionals are more available during the summer months. If the kiddo, needs that help, our programs have availability more in the summer. And, we are also, Matt, I don't know if we ever discussed this, but we're, covered by most insurance. And that's a big thing.
That is very important. Yeah.
It is, yes. Finding a therapist that's in network, finding a family therapist, maybe a social skills program or whatever the supports that you're looking for your teen are, like coordinating all that care is like a part-time job for a parent. It's so hard. And then making sure that it's covered within whatever insurance coverage you have. It's a chore and it's stressful for the parents. And so we try to make that a bit easier. We're in network with many insurance carriers, and if we're not, we figure out ways to work with them. And so families can contact our admissions team, and they sort through all of that, and then we can assess to whether the kiddo is the right fit for our program. But getting it covered and getting that expense and financial obligation, of mental health and wellness care, it's a big deal. So we're proud to partner with major insurance carriers.
That is so important, because there's nothing more frustrating when you're struggling and you need help. You find the perfect place to get the help that your child needs, and then your insurance doesn't cover it. That can be a cruncher. Now, Elisa, I know that RoWi recently, you hosted a parenting workshop for families at SCVi. I want to thank you very much. It was extremely well received, and I hear parents talking about it. But for those who may have missed it, can you share some of the topics that you covered and maybe some tips for parents?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, we were really honored to be invited to be able to provide the workshop for parents. I know it's something that for schools and counselors, they're always looking for resources to be able to provide that to their families. So we were very excited to partner with SCVi and to offer that workshop. Melissa Zive, she's our clinical director, and she's actually the one who hosted the workshop. She did an amazing job. And we did it over Zoom so that more families could attend. And really, the title of it was Understanding Anxiety and Tips for Managing Anxiety in Children. And what she dug into was really understanding anxiety, where it comes from, a lot of times how it's rooted in fears. And also recognizing for parents to just remind them that a lot of times with the issues and the problems that they're seeing in their adolescence, that their brains are still developing.
Yeah.
So that part of it, to kind of take a moment and just pause and recognize that a lot of what we're seeing and the struggles that are involved in mental health is also rooted in science. So she kind of takes them through that part of the workshop, and then goes into really where are there opportunities that we as parents can allow our children to build distress tolerance, things that are going to help them persevere during challenging situations so that they're able to build grit and give them confidence to overcome future hardships. Part of it is also turning a lens on yourself as a parent, kind of looking in the mirror and saying, well, where have I made those accommodations? And recognizing that there is, real anxiety there, but it could also be mixed in with times when, as a parent, we are making accommodations and maybe going in and rescuing them from a situation or doing something for them so that we save them from the discomfort that they're feeling. We all don't like to see our kids struggle. It's hard when we see that. She, brought in a lot of anecdotal stories from, herself as a parent, but also in the work that we do, that she does in her centers with teens. And so she, it was a really great opportunity to explain examples and when those struggles happen, and also as parents, how we can go in and give supportive statements and really giving parents those tips. And I actually have a couple of them that I thought I would share. She said, one thing that's really important is when we're giving our children some supportive statements to help them through those moments when they're feeling anxious, is just acknowledging what they're feeling, really big emotions, because sometimes they can't even understand what it is that they are feeling. They just know that they're freezing up, they're having a difficult time getting through something. So really recognizing and accepting the feeling and the emotion that they are experiencing, and also giving them the confidence to feel that they can get through it. So one of those statements would be telling your child, this is really hard, things are really hard right now, but I know you have the ability to get through it.
Yeah.
Statements like, I know you feel like you need my help, but I believe in you. So those kinds of things are both acknowledging the emotion that they're feeling, but giving them the confidence that they can push through. Really wanting to explain to parents, these these are life lessons that they're going through right now with their child and in their struggle. But by allowing the child to do this, that's how they're going to build their own strategies and how they can start to develop solutions on their own to some of the common problems that they're facing.
It really is a delicate balance, isn't it? Right? Because we, like you said, we don't want to see our kids struggle, but if we don't let them struggle, then they won't learn how to deal with life's adversities. It reminds me of, gosh, the more I realize it, the more I look back, the more I realize how deep the movie Finding Nemo was, right? When the one fish tells the other fish, you can't not let anything happen to him, because then nothing will ever happen to him. It is so important. Karen Berkeley, Executive Director of Marketing and Outreach, and Elisa Whiteley, Director of Partnerships with RoWi Teen and Parent Wellness. Really quickly, ladies, I know we need to run, but for families that do need a little bit more support, whether it's some tips or maybe they do need to have a child enrolled in one of your programs, where can they go for help?
Sure. I think the best bet is to go to our website. We do have some resources on our website too, little article blog posts that, share tips and tricks about some of the typical mental wellness challenges that we see teens struggling with and offering some advice, but also information about our programs and how you can explore them for your family. So the website is RoWiTeen.com, which is RoWiTeen.com. Again, RoWiTeen.com, RoWiTeen.com. And I just wanted to explain too, because I always love to share that RoWi it stands for Roots and Wings. And it sort of goes to what Elisa was talking about, roots and wings. There's an ancient quote that says there are two gifts that parents give their kids. One is roots and the other is wings. And that's what we strive to do. Parents need to give their kids a foundation, solid footing, grounding for life, knowing that they have that safety and security, but also wings so they can fly and soar and thrive on their own and have that resilience to face life's challenges.
I love that.
That's what we're always trying to help with.
I love that. Karen, Elisa, thank you so much for joining us. Again, for support for your family, check them out at RoWiTeen.com. Ladies, again, thank you for joining us. We'll have you back again very soon. I'm Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. And joining me now is Christopher Valona. He is Director of Project Sebastian. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me, Matt. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. You're doing some amazing work as you and your family work through some real difficult struggles yourselves, I know, and you've also got an event coming up this weekend, so I want to get right to it.
Sure.
Tell us about Project Sebastian and the work that you and your organization do.
Right. Project Sebastian was created about 10 and a half years ago to fundraise for cures and treatments for Batten disease CLN8. People probably want to know what that means. It means that there's almost 13 variants, positively known 13 variants, 14. One is unknown to the Batten disease family, and they are all in that category of lysosomal storage disorder function. So they call neuronal cellular death, which means that there's an enzyme that's missing in the brain that takes out the trash. And every time you have a impulse or a synapsis or your brain tells you what to do, it's like a little puff of toxic smoke behind it, and the enzyme comes in behind and removes it and expels it. These kids don't have that enzyme. So
all right. So it sounds to me like kind of the exhaust from a car, right? You've got something happening, and it puts off some discharge. And kids with Batten disease, they're not cleaning out that exhaust.
It can't clean out, so it just kills the brain slowly over time.
Okay, so that can be a tragic diagnosis, and I believe that it's that exact diagnosis that sort of inspired you to found Project Sebastian. Can you share a little bit of your personal experience with it?
Sure. Like everybody else, went to the internet and searched for cures and people to figure out what we were going to do next. Once you got that definitive diagnosis, which was the second diagnosis, the first one was a false diagnosis under epilepsy. they basically, the geneticist said, there's no hope, good luck, he's going to die. We just don't.
And by he, this is your son,
Sebastian. Yeah, this is Sebastian. And so go love him and have a great life. And it was just like, next. And, of course, I'm there with my wife at the time, Terry, and she fainted and she was crying.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I was just like, that just can't be it. But, I mean, we're in 2012.
Yeah.
You can't just say it's over. So
Right.
we teamed up and we just looked for families that were doing something, and we came across another family that was doing a lot of great stuff in the gene therapy area, and we just latched onto them, and we created a foundation around their model, and we began the charge to raise awareness for Batten disease research and therapies, as well as potential cures. So Project Sebastian was created in that light, and over the last 10 years of dealing with pharmaceutical companies as well as other research hospitals, they all have started but have stopped, and due to lack of money and funding and scientific community leaders, and at the end of the day, we finally got some honesty out of these people where they simply said there's just no way to monetize your son's illness, so there's too few of you, and there's...
I want to back up.
Yeah.
What a horrific statement to hear as a parent.
Yeah.
There's just no way to monetize your son's illness.
True story. Out of a very large pharmaceutical company that had bought all the rights to the research.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because it's a rare disease, I'm making assumptions here, so correct me if I'm wrong. There's just not enough kids that are suffering from this disease. There's not enough awareness. There's no way for us to do the intensive research that needs to be done in order to come up with a treatment or a cure, because the demand isn't as high. So we're moving on to something else?
Yeah, something more profitable, something that has more
Wow.
case studies, more funding, more government exposure, more publishing power, more ways to receive income to continue on with what you're doing in your research hospital. Now, I understand you need money to make money. I understand that.
Right, right.
But you're right. It is devastating to hear such a callous, sentiment about big business not aligning with why you got into saving lives.
Yeah. And it is a business, and from a strictly business model, right, it's understandable. Nobody goes into business to lose money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're talking about humans. We're talking about children. I had an opportunity to meet your son a few years back, and he's
cool.
a beautiful young man.
Cool.
And it's not okay to say, no, this doesn't make financial sense. We're moving on.
Right.
So you started this foundation to help raise money to supplement that, to make it make financial sense.
Yeah, and the money was used properly. People were working. We put people to work in labs, in Nationwide Children's Hospital and other labs, to do what we were trying to duplicate with that other family, which is a trial for CLN6 through the our friend Kristen Gray and her foundation. So we were doing it. Mm-hmm. But then they just pulled the plug because they said there were too few subjects for this particular clinical trial.
Okay.
And I said, why'd you buy it then? Why'd you buy the rights? Mm-hmm. They don't have to give me an answer. That's just big business.
Right.
And so, oh well, see you later, guys.
So where are you at now? Are you still pushing? Are you working
Angry,
to get them to
angry, frustrated,
Wow.
sad.
Yeah.
As a parent, it's hard to have the opportunity to raise children, let alone a medically complex child, let alone a terminal illness child. So we were thrown into like a bunch of emotions. You're going up and down this ladder of like, what do we do? We're lost. It's over. See you later. Marriage, it's gone. Getting divorced. You got nothing going. You go into depression, and then somebody says, "Hey, we got all the money in the world. We're gonna help." And you're like, got this little faint glimmer of hope. And then all of a sudden they said, yeah, it just doesn't make financial sense. Sorry, we're going to shelve your product and you can't have it back. So you have to start all over again. But then when you do, you have to ask permission to have all of that data back. So currently, it's a long answer, sorry.
No, it's yeah.
Currently, we were looking at, Project Sebastian was looking at what's missing in this space. And what we thought was a conversation about how hard it is, the journey map, as one of my friends has created, Rare Givers Global Network, great organization. We'll get into that in a minute. But that conversation, that community that can get around and have support group systems for families like mine and other people in the valley that are struggling with special needs, rare disease, and things that are happening in our bodies that no one knows about. So we developed like a little pivot. We said, okay, well, we're going to go into support group systems, support networks, resource abilities, and we created in-person group meetings and online meetings, and we collaborated with other foundations. And so right now, our mission is to basically get everybody together and just to say, hey, you know what? You're not alone in this, and you don't have to do it alone. Please come and join our groups, join our sessions, and just vent. Get some resources, get some help. We provide free counseling and free support groups for anyone that wants to come in.
Wow.
And it's anyone that wants it. It's not, disease specific. It's all diseases, all categories, men, women, and children. When we were working with our local hospital here at Henry Mayo, we had a support group that met once a week. And there were all kinds of people that came, doctors, lawyers, people in wheelchairs, people with terminal illness, and they would come in and they would share their stories. It's truly amazing when you just simply say, hey, here we are, that people will come.
Yeah. I love that, gosh, you're fighting an uphill personal battle, you and your family,
Yes.
working against the pharmaceutical companies. And gosh, it's tough to think that you've got to work against them. You would hope in a situation like yours, you'd be working with them.
Yes.
But identifying that frustration and struggle, you've reached beyond your own son's diagnosis and what your family is dealing with. You're supporting a wide variety of families in need, dealing with something that's similar but unique in its own fashion. But this stuff, just like the pharmaceutical companies, it requires funding, right? And so you've got a fundraiser coming up this weekend, just tomorrow. So can you tell our listeners what you're doing with the Rare Warrior Run?
Right. Let me just go back and just finish that.
Please.
One
All
thing.
right. Sorry about that. Let's back up.
No, it's good. You can only stay angry so long. You can only stay in your negative attitude for so long. Because once the people say that there is no other choice, you have to either make your own decisions or you can stay depressed. I chose not to.
Good for you.
I chose to kind of say, okay, what can I do? I wish I had an opportunity to join a group like Project Sebastian's support systems back in the beginning. Maybe it might have helped save my relationship with my then wife. Maybe it might have helped me understand the process a lot better. Maybe I wouldn't be as alone, because this is a very lonely category.
I can't even imagine.
Because the normal groups, because we are a special group, the normal groups, they don't understand because their children are healthy. Outside of the common cold, they really don't got any serious challenges.
Right.
So while they mean well and they want to support, they just don't understand. As one person told me, it hurts my heart to see your son become so, and I was just like, and he just kept his mouth shut. I said, you can say it. He says, he's just so declined. And it hurts to see that. And I said, well, I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. You're thanking me? Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I want to hear. Don't lie to me. Don't fake it. But, people don't stay. So when you create these events like the Rare Warrior Run, we hope to bring in a lot more families and build more community. And it's going to be awesome. It's our third annual one. Okay. Saturday, June 1st. Race registration opens at 6:30 a.m., hopefully. We get all of our volunteers there on time.
All right.
And hot coffee will be there by about 5:45, 6 o'clock with some fresh bagels and cream cheese. We're going to have a 5K and a 10K event this year. But I really want to talk about the All Abilities Half K.
Okay.
So basically, that's a run for all of the disabled children and adults who are in wheelchairs, crutches, who are the blind, who just need assistance with walking. This is their race.
Okay. So you mentioned registration is on site.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not that folks have to register ahead of time.
You don't, but you can.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start there. How
Yeah.
do people register ahead of time?
Great question. Thank you. The easiest way to do it is to go to projectsebastian.org and hit on the events tab, and you'll see this gigantic, colorful zebra, which is the rare disease icon. If you hit the zebra with your cursor, it takes you right to race registration, and you just fill out the app and then go. And money, you can do it online. For those
Fantastic.
that want to show up race day, we'll do the same thing. We have on-site processing as well. You can do the same thing that I just explained from the QR code on the race day registration, or you can pay cash.
Okay, so you mentioned volunteers need to be there at 6:30.
6.
But 6. Sorry, volunteers, get there at 6.
5:30.
Christopher's going to have coffee for you. He's going to have bagels for you.
Yes.
Get there. You're doing great work. What about participants? What time do they need to show up, and where, Christopher?
Oh, right. Well, it's at Heritage Park here in Valencia, California.
All right.
That's at the corner of...
That's Newhall Ranch
Newhall,
Road and
yeah.
McBean. I love that park.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for helping me there. I just had to what? And basically, that race registration is open by 6:30. So that's pretty much it. We are excited to have a couple new features. We have chip timing this year for all you serious runners out there that need a new PR.
All right.
That's
cool.
a personal record, as they say. And we've extended the classic 5x5 to a regular 10K. So what was once a 5-miler is now your regular 6.2.
All right.
You're right. So we're excited about that. I think we're up to 10 10Kers.
All right.
And the rest are all 5Kers and walkers and stuff like that. So that's exciting, adding that new feature.
Yeah. Yeah. So folks can get out there and get competitive with their chip, running the 5K, running the 10K, and then you mentioned you've also got a half K that's for everybody.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we're going to have a silent auction that starts
great.
right at 7 a.m. And it closes by the end of race time, and it's great. We have so many great donations this year from local vendors from here to San Diego, all the way north to Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Great participants from the local people. So also we're going to have prizes and giveaways. You know, we created a new sweatshirt for the winners. So it's pretty cool.
Love that. So, gosh, you know, if running's not your thing, just get out there and wander around for half K, and then then bid on some of the silent auction stuff.
Or if you have no interest in competing or racing or running's not your thing, you can just come out and see what we're doing.
Yeah.
See what our community is all about. See why we're supporting all rare diseases, and see why we do it. It's not for not everybody's trying to get noticed. It's just like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
We are here, and we want to show you that we're here. And you're going to meet Sebastian. Sebastian's coming out. He's going to be our race MC.
Very cool.
He's going to start the races. Of course, you know, if the seizure gods let him alone and let him not have a seizure that morning, then he'll be there with his bells on. He started it last year. It was pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, and he's a cool guy. When he was in here a few years ago, he was telling jokes, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So one more time, it is tomorrow morning, June 1st.
Yes.
6:30 a.m. Get out there.
Yep.
Register now on Project Sebastian. Is it projectsebastian.org?
Yep.
Or you can register day of, again, tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m., Heritage Park.
That's right.
Come out and bid on the silent auction stuff. What about folks that are where you were 10, 12 years ago and thinking, you know, my kid or somebody in my family is dealing with something that's rare that you don't see all the time. How can they get connected with you and get some of the support that you guys offer?
Well, they can go to the website, projectsebastian.org, and you can email me directly by contact information on that slide. So if you don't want to go to the website and you don't have a computer or you have a cell phone,
They may be driving right now. Yeah.
you can just hit me up at chris@projectsebastian.org.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Website is projectsebastian.org. Chris@projectsebastian.org.
That's right. And for all of you people that really don't care about anything else except communicating and, you know, connecting, we're going to have a really great live DJ as well. So,
Oh, sweet.
Yep. And we got a warm-up company coming out. I think Fit for Moms coming out to warm up all the runners.
Nice.
I hope I'm saying that right. Really sweet lady out there. So DJ, coffee, bagels, community.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Very cool, and doing great things for folks facing some incredibly challenging times.
Yeah.
Like yourself. You
Yeah.
know, I went through. I often see folks going through struggles, and sometimes when there's nothing else you can do, reaching out and supporting somebody else. Just kind of leaning on somebody else and supporting someone else, being there for them.
Yeah, get outside
be
your
really
own
helpful.
self and help somebody else, and you will guaranteed to feel better.
Christopher, God bless you and your family. Really appreciate what you're doing in the face of just remarkable challenge that I can't even understand.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you would do the same if you had to. I believe that in everybody is inherently good. And I'm just happy to be a part of this great city, the Santa Cruz city, and welcoming us and the people doing what they're doing by having us here. So.
Yeah, certainly. And again, thank you for what you're doing. We're talking about the Rare Warrior Run, but you know what? Just go on projectsebastian.org. You can learn all about it. Head out to Heritage Park in the morning. I know there's a ton of people. I get out there. That's where I do my walk in the morning. And so we're going to be out there already.
Awesome.
Do some walking and connecting with some people that could use your support. And hey, you might win a couple of items in the silent auction. You're definitely going to have fun with Sebastian and with the DJ they got out there. That's again tomorrow morning, Saturday, June 1st, 6:30 a.m., Heritage Park. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. Stick around. I'm Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. Phew, it has been quite a day today, Jen. We've had a lot going on the shows. I feel like we've got everything straightened out. Producer Sarah, great job on another great show. We just spoke with Christopher Valona. He's the director of Project Sebastian. Check him out at projectsebastian.org. They're having an amazing event tomorrow morning, June 1st, 6:30 a.m. at Heritage Park. Again, projectsebastian.org. Earlier this hour, we reconnected with our friend Karen Berkeley and her colleague, Elisa, at RoWi Teen and Parent Wellness. They're doing great things for teens and their families who are working through some mental and social emotional wellness issues. And then way back, gosh, it seems like a long time ago, way back in hour one, we spoke with middle school facilitator Allyson Vilppu with iLead Agua Dulce and some of the great things she's doing with her middle schoolers and high schoolers there at iLead Agua Dulce. We also spoke with a parent volunteer out at our school, Tina Diem. She is ubiquitous on our campus at iLead Agua Dulce. They were absolutely amazing. And now we're blessed to be joined by engineer Andrew. How you doing this morning, brother?
Great. Good morning.
Always good to see you. Thanks for coming in. It is now Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all know Big T. Big T is an executive and a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, and community leader. And photographs of Big T, well, they were recently outlawed by the Geneva Convention. Big T, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Maddie.
Hey, I forgot to mention that you're Mom's favorite, but Mom knows it. Everybody knows it. Big T, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful Friday morning here in the Valley. I've got my buddy Andrew here. I've got Jen sitting across from me, and we're hoping that you've got some fun facts, maybe some trivia.
I do, but where's Andrew at?
He's right over there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I do have some fun facts. I do have some trivia. We're getting ready to start off the summer, so I have a little bit of geography trivia, and of course that necessary thing for parents when they're traveling, maybe a little bit of cocktail trivia, if that's okay with you, Brofrogger.
Cocktail trivia. I like it, yeah.
All right, but let's kick it off. I mean, when you're traveling, you're going to be eating some fast food or you're going to be eating some other stuff, right? I know you're not a fan, Frogger, but did you know that Hawaiian pizza was actually invented in Canada, and it's the most popular pizza in Canada?
That makes sense.
And in fact, after plain cheese pizza, Hawaiian pizza is also the most popular pizza in Australia.
Yeah, right. Canadians and Australians. Folks, we don't put fruit on pizza.
Agreed.
It's allowed.
No, sir.
Why not?
Because
if you could put veggies on there, why can't you put fruit?
Because it's fruit and not veggies. And if you,
But it's
I tell you what,
delicious.
if you want a fruit on your pizza, go tomato.
It makes it healthy.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is.
That's your exception is the tomatoes.
If you insist on putting fruit on a pizza, do tomatoes.
All right. Let's. I promised Papa, who's supposed to be turning in this morning, a little bit of sports trivia, if that's all right. If we kick that off.
Oh, you know we love Papa.
All right. Who has the highest lifetime batting average in pro baseball?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Josh Gibson.
It is now Josh Gibson.
It is. It is. See, Jen, it changed because Major League Baseball just this week made the announcement they finally included the stats from the Negro Leagues way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
In
Okay.
Major League statistics.
Oh, that's cool.
And Josh Gibson, I'm going to ruffle Papa's feathers here. Greatest hitter of all time. And he was able to bring over his stats from the Negro
that's
League
awesome.
now. And yeah, definitely.
All right, Frogger, we'll see if you see what your knowledge actually is. Two-part question.
All right.
What position did Josh Gibson play?
Andrew.
And what team did he play most of his career?
Oh, that's a two-pointer.
Catcher and with the Grays.
He played a little bit with the Grays, most of his career with the Pittsburgh Crawfords.
We're going to give it to him.
Yeah,
was our
pretty
theme
good.
from last show. We're going to give it to him. That's a two-pointer. Way to go, Andrew.
All right. We've got some postseason action going on right now. There's 8 teams left in the College World Series, College Softball World Series.
Correct.
Can you name 2 of them?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Oklahoma and UCLA, unfortunately.
That is correct.
Go Bruins. Go Bruins. USC's not there?
No.
They get eliminated last round? Before that?
Yeah. Name 2 of the 4 teams still left in the NHL playoffs.
Andrew. The Florida Panthers and Dallas Stars.
That is correct. The other 2 are the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Rangers.
Engineer Andrew
Who are
is
the 2
on
teams
fire.
playing in the NBA Finals?
Frogger.
Andrew.
Frogger.
That would be the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks.
That is correct.
How you doing, Jen?
All right.
Hey, I'm learning something at least.
I love that spirit. We're getting into cocktails, Jen. This may help you out.
All right.
Dry,
You've been getting into the cocktails?
Maybe,
Is that what you said, T?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. It's a little early for tea to cocktail unless I'm with Frogger.
Right.
Dry, wet, Gibson, and vodka are all
Frogger.
variations of Frogger.
Martini.
That is correct. A Moscow Mule is traditionally served in what type of mug? Andrew.
Oh, copper tin.
Copper is correct. We'll give it to you. Havana, Cuba is the birthplace of which
Frogger.
cocktail that has Frogger?
Mojito.
Mojito is correct. It has rum, lime juice, and mint. What cocktail is made of vodka, tequila, rum, triple sec, gin, and a splash of Coke?
Frogger?
Jeez.
Frogger?
I'm with Jen. It's a little early in the
I
morning
don't know.
for that.
You're on the floor, so who knows what it's called.
I'm going with a Long Island iced tea.
You ever had a bad one, Frogger?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you did last week.
Actually, yeah, I thought that was fruit punch.
Very watered down. What actor plays bartender Brian Flanagan in the 1988 movie Cocktail?
Jen.
Okay.
Jen?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is correct. A little bit of fun fact, that was the first movie that I ever took Erica to on our first date.
Erica, that would be Mrs. Big T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mrs. Big T. Little E, as we call her.
Little E.
What brunch cocktail mixes champagne and orange juice?
Andrew.
Jen.
Go
Jen.
I heard.
It's
I
Andrew,
I
yeah.
heard Andrew.
Okay, sorry.
Mimosa. Mimosa.
Mimosa's correct.
Mimosa.
What rum? Go ahead.
Andrew's
go
just playing with the word mimosa.
Gotcha. What rum does 50 Cent recommend you drink like it's your birthday in his song
Frogger.
In the Club? Frogger.
That would be Bacardi.
Bacardi is correct.
Jeez.
What
Wow.
cocktail consists of tequila, lime juice, and grapefruit soda?
Andrew.
Frogger.
Andrew.
Paloma.
Paloma. They're delicious if y'all haven't had it. Step away from your margarita and get a Paloma. What cocktail do they drink at the Kentucky Derby?
Jen.
Andrew. Okay, that's Jen.
Mint julep.
That is correct. Nice pull.
Yahoo.
How did James Bond order his martini?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Shaken, not stirred.
That is correct. What is the capital of France?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Paris.
Paris. What country is known as the land of the rising sun?
Frogger.
Andrew.
Frogger.
Japan.
Japan is correct. Why are you laughing?
Because you threw us a hard curveball.
Exactly. Exit stage left.
We got about a minute left, Big T.
All righty. What U.S. state is known as the Sunshine State?
Jen.
Jen.
Florida.
Florida's correct. How many Major League Baseball teams are there in California?
Frogger.
Frogger.
2, 4, 5.
5 is correct. Dodgers, Angels, Giants, A's, and the Padres.
The lowly Padres. Are they still in the majors?
Barely.
How many NFL teams are there in New York?
Frogger.
Andrew. Ooh.
Frogger.
You talking the state or the city?
Now, answer the question.
All right, 3.
3 is correct. Buffalo, New York, the Giants, and the Jets.
Well, I
How
mean,
many
technically
NFL
they're in New Jersey. It's okay.
Oh, interesting. Half a point for engineer, Andrew.
How many NFL teams are there in Texas?
Frogger.
Frogger.
2.
Just 2.
All righty.
Houston and Dallas.
And with that, I'm taking it. 11 points.
Oh,
Andrew, you got 8.5. Jen, thank you for playing.
I was here. Hey, again, I learned something.
Big T, thanks for swinging by. We want to thank our guests as well, middle school facilitator Allyson Vilppu and parent volunteer Tina Diem, both with iLead Agua Dulce, your free public charter school, iLeadAguaDulce.org. And with RoWi Teen and Parent Wellness, Executive Director of Marketing and Outreach, that would be Karen Berkeley and her associate Elisa. Christopher Valona, Director of Project Sebastian, Producer Sarah, Engineer Jen, Engineer Andrew, and thank you for listening. Remember, friends, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well and do good, and join us again next Friday. And every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m., I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.